Today, this video is going to be a little bit all over the place. We are going to be talking about an array of different things. First one being the fact that my background is a little bit different right now. Yes, I am at our home on Cape Cod and I am here for the summer. Finally got it all done. The plants were the last of it. It took a whole carload and this house looks a little overwhelming with all the plants in here. Not gonna lie, but that's okay. I need to bring them with me, keep them alive and all that good fun stuff. We are here for the summer, so I will be here essentially until school is about ready to start. So if you're following me over on Instagram, you'll see little pops here and there of me doing different things throughout Cape Cod, where we go, where we eat, what we do, stuff like that. But also in the meantime, I do want to talk a little bit about a couple key things are the main topics of this video, and that is Nordstrom Anniversary Sale is coming up. The preview was supposed to start today when I'm recording this for tomorrow's video, and I haven't seen it yet. So I don't know what the deal is with Nordstrom. We'll have to find that out as we go. And then also HRT and my update. I had planned on doing this video at the 1 month mark. However, that was when we first came here and it got a little bit crazy and I didn't get a chance to do it. So I'm at about, 6 weeks into it at this point. So I do want to talk about that as well. What my thoughts are on it, what my plans are for keeping up with the different things that I have changed. And so with that, I am going to start with HRT first. Let's talk about that first because a lot of people are A, finding this interesting or going through the same thing, and then B, also kind of having questions and wondering or finding this information to be helpful for them. So I'm 50 years old. If you're not familiar with HRT, it is hormone replacement therapy. I do an estrogen patch with the smaller dose and a progesterone pill. And with that, I have been taking it, as I mentioned now, for 6 weeks. And in conjunction with that, I have since, so I want to say January was a year, so we're about a year and a half. I have consistently worked out 5 days a week for a minimum of 30 minutes, consistently through all of that, except for the week I took vacation and maybe a week or two here or there where something was going on. This week being a perfect example of that is I only got to work out so far. Today is Thursday. I did 2 workouts, Monday and Tuesday. Yesterday was getting a lot of stuff done before leaving. Today has been unpacking, recording, all of that. But for the most part, consistently, it is 5 days. In the fall, in September, I started walking every single day for a minimum of 30 minutes. As we got through the winter, I started getting closer to an hour. I typically now do anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. I do use an Oura ring to track all of my sleep habits, my activity, things like that. My goal is for a minimum of 15,000 steps in a day. I like to hit 18 and I love when I hit 20,000. I've had days where I've hit over that as well. So when I started HRT, I also made the decision in conjunction with those things I was already doing. Now let me preface this with check with your doctor with any of these things. I am not a physician. I'm just sharing my story of what has been going on with me, working with me, not working with me, or that I have been trying. And HRT also is not a diet. It is not a weight loss drug. It is not any of those things. It does help to reduce your belly fat area and kind of redistribute a little bit. But that is more just your hormones and your estrogen kind of helping in that area. I did make the conscious decision when I started this. I thought to myself, I have tried every diet you can think of probably out there. I have a whole bunch of different videos specifically about this, what I've done, what I've tried, and all of that. However, I was like, I'm going back to the basics. I am just going to start tracking my food. I've done well when I did Weight Watchers with that. I did well when I did Faster Way to Fat Loss with that. Anytime I'm tracking consistently. And with that, that means a few things. One being the fact that I track everything that goes in my mouth, everything. Even if those numbers are higher for a day, lower for another. And I have stopped with all of the macros. I do try to get 100 grams of protein in for the most part. I shoot for 140, but I try to do a minimum of 100 grams of protein in a day. But that being said, my main focus is tracking my calories. I try to make sure that that number is as close as it can possibly be. Now, we all have weeks where you're gonna have one week that you have a day that's worse or better. I've also heard this kind of concept that I've tried it a few times to see how it works out. You add up all of your calories for the week and then divide them by the amount of days in the week, and that will tell you how many calories you averaged per day during the week. And that sometimes also shows you're a little bit closer. I don't use that, me personally, as my rule of thumb of how I'm eating, because I don't want to go too little on one day and go way over on another. I try to stay as consistent as I can. I try to stay within 100 calories below or above each day as kind of my range. Now, some of the information is when I started HRT, I would say the 3 months previous to that, I was probably the highest I'd ever been. I was closer to almost 170. I had a few times I hit 170. I was sticking pretty much around that 168, 169. As of last week, I weigh again tomorrow. On Fridays, I weigh. I used to also weigh myself every day, and that just got in my head. So now I am back to only doing it once a week. And that once a week is on a Friday. That's just the day that works best for me. It gives me the most motivation of I've eaten well during the week. I weigh in, and then before the weekend, it's not a reason to go, okay, now I don't have to worry about the weekend. It is, for me, something that I go, when I'm doing well and I'm seeing the progress when I weigh in on a Friday, I then think more when I'm eating on the weekend, and I want to keep up with that. Now, those things being said, I, as of last Friday, was at 160.2. So that was at the 5-week mark, let's say. So I have been consistently watching my calories. I have been consistently working out 5 days a week. I've been consistently getting in minimum of 15,000 steps in a day, walk outside, inside, just moving around, whatever that is. I always try to get a minimum of 8 hours of sleep. With my ring, I see when I get up and down more throughout the night. So I would say my average is closer to like 7.5 to 8 hours, but I'm in bed physically for a minimum of 8 hours, resting my body. I've also tried to get off of my phone and off of social media an hour before I'm going to bed, which helps me sleep a little bit better. This little Aura ring is a great thing. It tells you so much information about your sleep patterns, your activity patterns. It's just really interesting. When you have more energy, when you have less, it adjusts. It really is a cool item. It's not the cheapest thing, but I love it. And so for me, it is what works. I don't tend to wear a Apple Watch. MJ took mine a few years ago. I gave it to him because I wasn't wearing it. Essentially, I prefer my nicer watches that I like to wear. So I do like this. It kind of blends in with my jewelry a little bit better. So I am seeing progress. I am seeing changes. I am feeling better. I do have more energy. I don't have the night sweats. I'm not having as bad of cramps and things like that. My joints, my bones feel a little bit better. I definitely have found that I feel like I have more just energy all around, which is really, really nice. And I'm definitely excited to continue on this path and see how it goes. In the summertime, my eating is a little bit more erratic because I am at the beach during the day a lot of times. However, I do eat better because there's more fresh seafood. And when I'm at the beach, I'm not snacking quite as much. I will bring some snacks with me, but I tend to bring healthier snacks and try to just limit what goes in my bag and comes with me to the beach. So again, the HRT is not something that is specifically for weight loss. I am using that kind of as my starting point when I started the HRT to jumpstart also just if I'm trying to keep myself in the best health I can. That is another part of it, which is my eating habits and just what I'm eating and being more conscious of the portions that I'm putting in. And that's more it. I am a volume eater. I would rather eat more of something. Like, here's a perfect example. I would rather have 3 or 4 eggs than have one small little cheeseburger. I don't know. That's a really bad example. I'm not gonna lie. That's a horrible example. 3, 2. Here's a better one. I would rather have a yogurt with some fruit or some granola or something like that in it than to only be able to have 1 or maybe 2 cookies. Does that make sense? That might be a little bit more close to what something would make sense of. But I definitely, again, I would rather eat a larger piece of fish than maybe eating something like a smaller piece of a fattier steak. Those are probably better examples of that. So that is where we are as of now. Again, I am trying to do everything I can. I know there are a ton of people out there that are using, and no shade to this, if it's you, I say more power to you. Ozempic and some of these other ones that are kind of out there nowadays, there's like pill versions, there's shot versions, there's everything. I personally didn't want to be on something for the remainder of my life in order to remain at whatever weight loss I got. So doing everything I can to find other ways around it. Plus, I want to strengthen myself. I want to be healthier. I want to be fit. We have been golfing, which has been super nice. So that's something that we do now. We try to do one night during the week and just kind of get out there, and it's something to do that we can do as a family, but also is something that gives me some activity, gives me some steps, gives me some exercise. I just am trying to find new ways. I'd like to try tennis again. I haven't played tennis probably since I was MJ's age, to give you an idea. So that's another great thing that I would like to kind of maybe try to add in. And it's just that keeping myself moving. And then the HRT is really just to get my inside, all the stuff going on as we age, kind of in check, if that makes sense. So that is my update on my HRT, fitness, eating, weight loss, etc. And now I want to talk to you guys about Nordstrom Anniversary Sale. I am going to be looking at it a little bit different this year. A couple of things. I wanted to see that preview. I like going through, I like how they've started doing this with the preview, because I like going through, I start a wish list and I go through and I put all the items in the wish list that I am considering. I just go hog wild, right? Because it's just a wish list. Then I go through and I kind of take a second look, and was it something that was just an instinct that I thought I would like it, but as I look at it closer, there's something I don't like, whether it's a cut, a fit, a shape, a color, any of those things. And then I also, and I would suggest this to all of you, is I then also go into my closet and look to see if I have something similar. I used to think it had to be almost exactly the same. That does not hold true. Something similar. Like I would look at the newest flannel from Rails, right? I'd be like, ooh, it's a new color. I need that this year. Am I really going to see that much difference in last year's to this year's? No, so I don't need that. So then I go through and edit the cart that way. Now, if you are not someone that is kind of at the same stage as me, where I know my wardrobe, I know what I already own, some things I would suggest are going through before the sale starts. Create your wish list now or whenever they end up publishing this preview, and you can go through, create that whole wish list, and then what I would suggest, clean out your closet. Go through and clean your closet out. Do a pile of trash, do a pile of donate, and do a pile of keep, and then go back through and organize your closet. And with that, you will see how many things you have that are actually very similar that you already own, or how many items you are interested in wearing again that might kind of reduce that little bit of a need or want for something new. Something I started doing also last year, which I didn't keep up with, which I kind of wish I did, was a digital. There are a lot of apps out there that do like digital wardrobe, so you can see everything you own. Kind of wish I had kept up with that. So that's something that maybe I'll try going into next year. But as far as me and Nordstrom Anniversary Sale, a couple of the things I always look for is I always go through and look at the beauty buys for things that I need replenishments on, refills on. I buy my Donna Karan Cashmere Mist deodorant. I get my L'Occitane shower oil. I usually get some SPF. I usually just kind of look through the beauty items and figure out which items are ones that I need to replenish more so. And then I also kind of go through and look for those wish list items. Maybe like I'm trying not to buy denim. I used to buy, I would say 3 or 4 pairs every year. My objective or hope is to buy 1 pair this season. I'm looking for a more wide leg, kind of lighter colored pair of jeans. So we'll see if I find that. that one is definitely of interest to me. I like to look now, I have changed it. I used to go through and buy so many little things, and they would just accumulate and accumulate, and I wouldn't end up rotating them in. And now I'm looking for those kind of, for lack of a better term, somewhat of a higher ticket item that might be a blazer that I've been coveting, or a top, or a dress, or a pair of pants, or a pair of shoes, or a bag, like different things that I have on my wish list, not the wish list I created from the sale, but just things where I know I have a hole in my wardrobe and I'm looking for an item to fill that void, such as the pair of jeans I'm talking about, the wider leg, just kind of light wash denim. I have my eye on a pair from Mother that I really hope goes on the sale, but who knows. As far as shoes, booties, accessories, things like that, again, take a look at what you have, determine if you have something similar. So many years I have bought something very similar to what I had the years past or that I already owned. I'm again kind of realizing over the years I would rather purchase an investment pair that I'm going to wear year after year than kind of buying those spur of the moment seasonal ones. I do always try to keep within my 3 words that I've talked about so many different times, which are comfortable, effortless, and chic. I try to make sure, again, on that wish list that I create through the preview, I go through and I go, is this going to be comfortable? Do I think? Don't know until I get it in. Is this look effortless, and is this chic? Does this really work into what I'm looking to curate for a look long term? So I will also post up here all of the dates for Nordstrom Anniversary Sale if you are interested. I have gotten my shopping a little bit more under control, a little bit, because I used to be the top tier and now I'm down 1 tier. So I think I start shopping like a day or 2 after everyone else, but I'm okay with that. That used to freak me out. I would think everything would sell out. That's another thing during the anniversary sale. A lot of this is we feel so rushed to make a decision because something might sell out. If it sells out, Nordstrom Anniversary Sale items, because this is different. This is a series of pieces that are put together that are for the next season coming up. So we are able to shop in July through beginning of August items for fall that we will probably be wearing, me in New England, September, not as much September anymore, October, November, December, right? So with that, those items that people purchase and then return, or maybe they just have too much stock of, will be restocked. A lot of times these items closer to that November, December timeframe end up being even cheaper than what they were during anniversary sale. Now, I don't mind paying a little bit more during anniversary sale than what it might be in December, as long as it is something that I have used and will use. When that gets me is when I purchase something and I haven't used it and I'm like, now it's even cheaper. Or I have also had the other side of that where I was not able to get my hands on something, and then when it went on sale again, because I had it in my wish list, I got a notification when it was back in stock, it was actually less than it was originally. So all of these are tips and tricks to help you shop this sale. I am going to try and be more aware this year. It's not going to be, I'm saying this now, I hope you guys hold me to it. It is not going to be a massive amount of just try on, which is totally different for me. Last year I did hone it down a little bit. This year I'm trying to go even a little bit less. So hopefully that will work out. So if there are items that you are hoping to see during the anniversary sale, I would love to hear those down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this and have a great weekend.